oil stocks are falling and defense stocks are rallying. And Redwire seems to be moving in the opposite direction. So, what's the market missing right now? We did see some momentum into today. We're seeing some shifting geopolitical headlines as we reach a peace deal over in Iran. And we're seeing some pullbacks in the space tech market. If we take a look at Iran war, you can see Redwire, while it's been under pressure and a lot of space stocks sold off, there's an Iran peace deal that has now been met, and they reached an agreement that includes opening the Strait of Hormuz. So we're going to see some broader impacts. It's interesting because about 3 months ago, when we made a video about Strait of Hormuz closing, the market proceeded to have its largest rally of history, and we see Redwire, selling down. You saw Rocket Lab selling down, all of the space tech market selling down. There's a lot of investors that are looking at this and saying, hey, you see this big sell down. This might be one of the opportunities that we're looking at here for this year in the space sector. Broader market defense and space sectors might be seeing a little bit of a shift in the thesis where you're not having such a big urgency for deals from defense and spending. But whether it's AI stocks, infrastructure stocks, photonic stocks, data center companies, quantum companies, there is a lot to keep up with, and staying up to date with every single one of them can be nearly impossible. And that's exactly why we built this Prophecy AI. It allows you to use the most latest models in the world with the best financial data in the world to see the best projections on the companies. And I attribute that it would not have been possible for me to see over 10 positions in the last 2 quarters with over 100% returns if we were not using Prophecy here. If you'd like my help building a similar system for your portfolio, you can use the first link down below to work with me directly. And if you'd like to access this Prophecy AI and our AI stock research tools, use the third link below to get access. Let's get into it. So with Redwire, you got some projections. Some are negative. Most of them are positive. Into the next month here, we see mostly bullishness. You're looking into the next day or so, you're seeing some bullishness. Into market open tomorrow, we're looking at potentially some sell-offs into the market open session. And then you got the balance sheets and the financials. So we're going to break this down into 3 steps to just give a full analysis on Redwire. I call this my map strategy. It goes over the markets, it goes over the analysis and the profit potential, and we're going to go through each step individually. Now, first, you have the market. With this Iran war, you're looking at a lot of different things to focus on. Okay, you have the peace deal, sure, but then you have defense contracts might not be in as much demand. You see US and Iran agree to cease hostilities. Strait of Hormuz opening for crucial waterway for oil transportation. But as we start to look at the macro, big IPO, greatest IPO in history on SpaceX on Friday, the SpaceX stock did very well. It added about $300 billion. We see them add currently another couple hundred billion this after hours session, as we see them rally up slightly to $167. And during that time, we saw almost all space stocks sell off on Friday, and most space stocks have been selling off since about end of May until today. And we're looking at a moment where the market has dipped about 40% from all-time highs. You could see Redwire was at 28. They're now at 15. You look at Rocket Lab, they were just recently at $156. They're now down to 100. Okay, so we see these 40% dips in most cases. Black Sky, who's in AI infrastructure, reached $52 price points on June, and then they sold down into the second week of June here about 40% as well. And so you see most of the space tech market pulling back while the revenues actually look the best that they've ever looked. There are a lot of companies that aren't actually turning profits. You do see the real world usage of these companies very, very apparent. Redwire, for example, they are in the market of space defense, but they're also in infrastructure. We see the satellite communications, and also the missile defense is a big one for them, as well as the Golden Dome contracts that they've been building for. That is something that's seeing a lot of real world usage as well. SpaceX, for example, while they are not fully operating at a profit, and most of the big profits are coming from XAI at least, you could see that the main issue with with most newer markets is that you're not having real world usage. But with a company like Starlink, for example, they're powering the internet for millions of people, and they're making over $1 billion per quarter and earning from their internet. So we've seen that Redwire has signed multiple deals, and you get into kind of the contracts now, and the financials look pretty good here. So they've signed a $2.6 billion deal they're a part of into 2025, and that was one that was their first major deal. Then you got into some of their recent deals. They signed a $151 billion deal. And then they signed some other contracts, including multiple dozen $1 million deals. So $15 million here for Army Aviation. There was another multi-year contract for UAS. And then you had some launches that were happening, along with some other $10 to $20 million deals for autonomous systems. There's another one there. And then you had some drug discovery systems as well that were in that $10 to $20 million range that we saw Redwire recently sign. There's a $4 million one, there was a $10 million one, and they're working with Artemis 2. So they're seeing the contracts really roll in, and they're focused on not just the NASA missions and exploration and the infrastructure, but they're also heavily focused on the actual defense side of things, which, even though the Iran ceasefire is in place and then you have a peace deal there, you still got a lot of war happening. I know there's a tremendous amount happening in Ukraine right now. You are going to see more of the implementation that it was just recently. We saw a lot of deals with the Space Dome that was literally in trillions of dollars in defense contracts. If there was going to be one time where you would see a space tech market or just defense market in general start to see the windfall or start to see the impacts now, today, from all of the deals that were put into place over the last 6 months, we're going to most likely see some financials look fairly good on a lot of these defense companies heading into 2027. And so into the summer and into fall, we want to look at the financials for Redwire as well. So that brings us to the financials in their balance sheet and their income statement. Their current market cap is at $3.73 billion. We started covering this company at under $1 billion in market cap, and we started covering them, back around $5, $6, $7 a share, and as low as $4.87. We've continued to cover them, and now that they're at $15 market or $15 price point, their financials are still even looking favorable now. Because at the time when we were looking at them around those $4, $5 ranges, their balance sheet was at about $1.45 billion in assets, which was at the time about $1 billion in equity. And that was just their equity alone was greater than their market cap. Now that their market cap has more than tripled, they're up to now $3.73 billion market cap. It still does not look unfavorable. So you look at the equity right now, over $1 billion. The institutional buying from BlackRock, you've got Citadel along with Vanguard and State Street buying, and net buying seems to be outpacing the sells. 247 institutional buys of $44 million versus 196 sells. So much more buys than sells. On the insider side, when you're looking at the directors, the CEOs, and some of the other insiders, it looks slightly more bearish. You have just about 58 insider sells versus 31 buys. So when we're looking at the actual insiders, doesn't look super favorable, but on the institutions, it looks very favorable as they continue to buy. And then on the contracts, it looks favorable as they're part of, dozens of billions, if not potentially getting a share of a big chunk of that $151 billion deal they're a part of, which in that instance, their income is most likely going to continue to rise. Annually, we've seen their revenue grow significantly. From just when they got onto the stock market, really back in 2020, 2021, they're a fairly new stock. They were doing around $137 million in revenue. And then by this last quarter alone, they actually did over $100 million. It was 96 million last quarter, but over the last 3 quarters, they're averaging over $100 million in revenue per quarter. So from annual numbers becoming quarterly numbers now, you could see that annual growth as they continue to rally, but their net income's still negative as they haven't turned any profits. And that's not really expected that they turn a profit in a space tech market, because ultimately you're going to have a lot of investments back into the infrastructure. And if they're turning a profit, you just got to ask yourself what they're really doing, because ultimately people don't want to see companies waste money or burn through money as a defense or as a government company, of course, or company that works with the government heavily. But I would probably argue that that would make sense that they're not profitable. If they're profitable, heavily profitable, then and they're working with the government, then they might not be investing back into their R&D as much as they should, or back into their technology focuses. They recently opened up a new manufacturing facility over in New Mexico. So with their current levels of growing their market cap and seeing their assets surge along with their income statements surge, this $3.7 billion market cap is up there. It's still a little bit in a sweet spot where you could see them rally further. You look at some of the projections into the next 6 months and into the next year. Most models, while this can change heavily due to different changes in the day-to-day, the next year is anticipating a $21 price point with a 34% surge year over year, according to Grok, with Meta anticipating a 23% gain. And on average, most models are over about 17% bullish into this year. So what does that mean? Well, if you're looking at the current levels with the technicals, this is where things start to get interesting and really what we're looking at currently. If they break below this $15 range, we could see them play once again between those $6 and $10 ranges. And it's not really the most ideal situation, although we have talked about seeing them stabilize around that $12 to $15 range. But looking at the current technical analysis, they are selling off from that level at $28, but they did find a bottom here into end of last week. And now they're looking to potentially consolidate from left to right between this $15 and $19 range, with the next target being a 22% gain from this $15 range up to about $18.50. So this is kind of the current left to right we're looking at. If they do sell down further, then you're getting that breakdown. You're seeing that continuation of that negative trend. And then we start to see that maybe defense contracts, while they've been good the last few quarters, we're not going to see as many because the geopolitical tensions are easing a little bit. Or maybe you get kind of this new pricing in of space tech stocks as a result of SpaceX IPO, and all of the windfalls of their recent deals start to show up in financials, and they reprice in and hold above this $15 to $20 to even $50 range that a lot of analysts seem to be targeting for Redwire. And so currently, you're looking at that support around 15. The next resistance we're watching is around 1850, and a breakout or a continuation of their overall uptrend would be up into $20 plus, even as high as $30 a share, which would be an 85% increase. So currently, in this left to right movement, it's slightly less probabilistic, a little bit less favorable than if you were trading an uptrend when you're trading a down or a sideways trend. If you're in a long-term position, then you could know that the fundamentals are very strong. The financials have been improving. Their deals seem to be very consistent. So if you're on that 5-year to 10-year horizon, then things look pretty good for you. If you're looking at the next month and you're in a swing trade and you're just looking at potentially making money in the next few days or weeks, then having clear structure and realizing risk management here is important, especially around this $14 level. If you get that break below, you could see, that stop or that risk management be very helpful to pay attention to around that $14 to $15 level. And what we'd be looking at for a margin for profit for Redwire would be up to $18. It's 22% margin for profit here, or a 40% margin for profit over on RDWU. So those are the levels to watch currently. If you get that break above $20, again, that's kind of the move that we'd be looking for. I currently don't have any short-term trades running with Redwire currently. We are looking for a bullish move, of course, and we'll be looking to play this potentially at market open. When the market opens, we'll have more clarity on where this stock is going. But why we're patiently looking at this on the short term is because there's not any confirmation just yet. And we're seeing how it reacts to the SpaceX IPO, how capital flows in and out of that market, as there's other markets that are getting a lot of momentum as well, like photonics, data centers, quantum, robotics, that may see some influx as well, which might result in some of these stocks selling off further in the space tech market. So as a long-term holder, I continue to hold. I'm going to hold Redwire. I've been holding it for now over a year, as we've been covering it for quite some time on the channel. I continue to hold it. And I like it as a long-term investment, along with the likes of Rocket Lab and Planet Labs and Black Sky and LUNR and some of these other long-term space holdings, ASTS. And the short term, of course, higher volatility, higher risk. If you're looking for a trade, just means you got to be precise. And it doesn't mean it doesn't have a great margin for profit that if the opportunity presents itself, we may take advantage of tomorrow morning if we can see at market open that we get that confirmation, start to see it break back above this EMA most likely. So you got that left to right holding below the 200-day moving average now, that green line. And oftentimes when it's bearish on the short term, it's going to be holding below the EMA, that blue line. When it's bullish, it's going to be breaking above that EMA. It's going to be holding above that EMA and vice versa, we just talked about. And so what we're looking for is that break above the EMA, starting to see those levels kind of break out and continue that trend sideways to get to that third stage of the reversal where we get the actual validation of this previous resistance as a support. Potentially we could see that continuation up. But again, a lot of things have to happen from here. We're going to just see how things react tomorrow morning at market open. And if we're able to take advantage of it, we'd love to have you there in the second link below to watch me trade live. We'll be there right at market open. And I would encourage you to simply have a look. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing. Let me know your thoughts below on Redwire. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.